Colours still retain the 22-goal partnership up front. And here's young Scott Wilson. At one stage in his career, he thought of giving up professional football and becoming a joiner. I cannot resist the temptation to say he's there to put the shutters up today. But the onus lies most heavily on an Aberdeen side which has come through one of its worst periods since the time of the handsome Cabs, and last week won their first game at 12. They have the unsettled Craig Hignett in the side. Ian Jeffs is back to form with 2 goals. And here is Mike Newell, former Blackburn teammate of Colin Henry, and since it's understood they didn't mind kicking lumps out of each other in a friendly way on the training ground, it's unlikely they've signed a peace pact for this one. Our referee today, of course, one of Europe's most sought-after referees, Hugh Dallas. Well, you know, the Scottish game will become deeply lopsided if sustained challenges to the old firm don't establish themselves firmly in certain areas, and Aberdeen is certainly one of them. But 2 points out of the last 6 away games is definitely not the way to go about it, as Kiriakov gets a first touch there. Well, I suspect that Rangers haven't decanted all of the scoring ability in that goal fest they had at Perth, though. There's the first little looping header. Newman beginning to come back into form again. Johansson just getting away from his marker once again, and in wonderful shot there. Well, look at the way the Russian come into this. Andrei Kanchelskis, he may be shaking his head, but this is a shot of the utmost conviction, no messing about, and Rangers all for the intention of having another blitz. Henry. Scott Wilson, who'll be in turn, took his eye right off that, and that's away. Wilson acknowledging the mistake he made to his mates, and I suspect to the support as well. Eye right off the ball there. That is a lapse in concentration when something that a young player has to eradicate from his game. Kanchelskis. That's very good control by Kanchelskis. He had to bring it down quickly. Should be picked up by Ferguson. But the German wants to let fly with it. Well, you could see that was play to him. Although I have to say, as you watch this again, I think Leighton did have it covered. Just got away with it. Here he comes again. This time Van Bronckhorst much let fly. He does! Glorious strike! A difficult angle. Not so easy with the goalkeeper having narrowed it, defenders to the side of them. Yet he contrives to keep it low, keep it controlled. And that's a perfect example of a technically sound and disciplined play. A clean smite of the ball there, beautifully laid on by George Alberts, and asking to be treated the way it eventually was. Wilson with the slip again. Perini. There's the long ball, and on to Johansson. He just misses out on that. Gets it again, and that's a great save by Leighton. Well, that's a great quality in this young man. He's a gangling, awkward player at times, but the obvious side is he puts opponents off, and he keeps trying, and a good save eventually by Leighton. Swilling away, Perini gets it in all. That's a miraculous save. Well, now, the very best we've had out of Jim Leighton. Whipped away again by Derek White. And this is a real battering at the moment this Aberdeen defence are having to sustain. Great effort by the veteran goalkeeper. 2 instinctive saves. This one, right out of the top drawer. Almost reminiscent of that Charbonnier save against Celtic recently. Colin Henry Henry just tucking that away now. Wallace, beautiful 1-2, and there's too much in that, but Kanchelskis coming up on the right-hand side. No, that was too narrow an angle. Barry Ferguson was at the back. Wallace was virtually, Johansson was virtually on the goal line. He opted to go for it himself. And with Leighton in the form that he's shown in the past 20 minutes, that was always going to be difficult. Newman. Wallace well tackled there by White. He was aiming to have a go as well there. Colin Henry. Good control by Henry. Johansson likes to come in from this side, of course. There's Wallace with a tap, brilliantly touched away. Well, we've seen the very best of this so-called veteran. And I'm sure somebody half his age couldn't provide that agility at that stage there. 3 marvellous saves he's had in this match. Van Bronckhorst. Nicely laid down by Albert. Ferguson. Here's Kanchelskis. As I said, Rangers do spread the ball very quickly. Ferguson annoyed with himself with that pass, just a little bit too hasty. Oh, here's the run through the middle. It's picked up by Ian Jess. He's usually deadly in this position. And a good save by Niemi. He timed that to perfection, but you could hardly say about his run. I think Ian Jess just touched it a little bit too far ahead of him, just before the final touch. Henry just beaten to it there. He is Ferguson. Perini leaves it to Kanchelskis. Aberdeen getting everybody back behind the ball again, though. Into Newman, into Wallace! And there was no offside. That goes down as another excellent save by Leighton. Well, I think he took it about the top of the chest and the chin together. And under any circumstances, that would be painful. There takes the full brunt of it. I think Advocat would like to see Kanchelskis much deeper in the opponent's half and picking it up in the right back position. Once again, that first touch, that Rangers down. This time, George Alberts. No free. Yes, it is. Free kick. Just touched away by Van Bronckhorst. Now then, I've got 3 against 3. Hignett wants to go on his own. He's worked out very well. Off the bar. Beautiful move by Hignett. For the first time, ripping that Rangers defence apart. Rangers intent simply on holding on to that ball at the moment. That's meant for Newman, and it almost gets through to him. All read eventually by Russell Anderson. Here's Robbie Winter. Been told to run at this Rangers defence. That's a decent ball indeed. And once again, it was Ian Jess coming forward and more playing a significant role in this Aberdeen side. As this first half comes to an end, he almost gets in there with a proper angle. A lot of indecision going on there as the half-time whistle goes. And certainly no indecision about the way that Rangers started this half. For the first 15 minutes, after that wonderfully measured strike by Van Bronckhorst, it looked as if Aberdeen could be buried underneath an avalanche, and the man who kept them at bay, Jim Leighton, with remarkable saves, a goalkeeper of experience, of instinct, and it was coming out of every pore as he stemmed the Rangers' advance. And then, of course, in the breakaways, Ian Jess might have equalised the score twice, in fact, going through there, and Niemi as the last of the barriers. There we are. It's more evenly balanced now than we would have imagined in the earlier stages of the game as Rangers go off leading by 1-0. I think a degree of dissatisfaction that the manager may have felt about the last 20 minutes of that game as the entry into the start of this second half of Stefan Givac. The man who once scored 26 goals out of 35 for Rennes in one season and helped them just avoid relegation. There's Ferguson. They're getting a little bit careless out there again. Winter almost did the dummy there. Here's Colin Henry. Wallace. Wallace going out on his own. Now Givac. Little touch and almost over. Well, you could see he was trying to curl that way up towards the top left-hand postage stamp corner when he got that little square ball there. Could have pushed it back to Van Bronckhorst, but being an instinctive striker, had to go for it himself. To Ferguson. Son Newman in the clear. Gets it to that left foot of his again. I think Kanchelskis will get it. Tries to go in himself. Here's Van Bronckhorst releasing the shot. Yes, the referee saying that was purely accidental. If there had been a touch. And they're putting the pressure on again. Givac to Newman. There he is, and just passed. And again, I'm not quite sure if that was a shot or a cross. I think he was in two minds himself. He certainly had Wallace inside him. The boot was up very high and dabbed at it more than anything else. And the wee fellow was a centimetre away from it. Beautiful play there by the German, and there's Givac just off it. Running right into the position, beautifully angled diagonal past this. You could see the Frenchman coming from that far side and a pace too near the ball. This is turning out to be a very good game indeed. Lots of good play. Here's Newman coming back. And that's a great equaliser. Ian Jess has done that so often against Rangers. He picked it up, and Aberdeen have deserved that for the way that they've commanded midfield so much in this game. His third goal in a row for the club. Picked it up beautifully. And then swings it round again. And look at how that Rangers defence parted there. Wilson caught out of position, and the goalkeeper with no chance. What a scrappy play going out there. Nobody can get onto the ball at all. That's a dangerous ball put forward again. And that's just pass. The Rangers central defence being cut up at the moment. Good understanding as Jess came racing through again, and there's that little awkward bounce. Just putting him off again. You can hardly believe he missed that. He's had a superb match. Well, Ian Ferguson's really had a lot of the ball since coming on. There's Van Bronckhorst, and again, smothered there by Leighton. He didn't angle it enough away, but he maneuvered himself superbly to get the shot in the first place. Here's Kanchelskis. I want to go himself, and he has! What a wonderful goal! The Russian scything down that defence there with a brilliant, electrifying burst. It was pace and determination that took him here. Watch this bust here. That's gave him the freedom, and even the superb Jim Leighton nutmegged by the sheer alacrity Henry. Chelska's beautiful little ball inside to Wallace. Hesitated. Should have been played forward. Ferguson, they simply want to hold on to the ball. They know how much time there is left. Here's Givash. Nicely squared to Ferguson. Can he get a shot in this time? It's going away around the side. There's an attempt at a little chip forward. He did very well in the run, but he couldn't get the necessary space and freedom. And eventually the shot petered out. Look at the run beyond that last line of defense again. New. And the final whistle goes. Well, Rangers have been taken right down to the wire. They may have scored 7 in the last game, but I think they're realizing just how difficult it's going to be when a team fits into the mood, as Aberdeen properly did today. Even though they lost that stunning first goal and looked as if they would be swept away in the flood, they came back very strongly. That equalizing goal by one of the best men on the field, Ian Jess, when he took them right through the middle, a typical Jess finish. And then a thundering finish, a climatic one, and a wonderful goal by the Russian as he bust right through the middle against the goalkeeper who had stemmed the Rangers' flood in the first half. It was close, much closer than perhaps Rangers might have anticipated, but eventually they go through by 2 goals to 1.